realize I don't gotta talk the whole time either. That's one of my pressures. I be feeling like I gotta talk the whole time, but I really don't. I look good enough to where I can just ride and still get the attention. Attention. Talking about attention, I was mapping this out on a paper yesterday. It's like so many things stem from attention. Like at the end of the day, attention is an ecosystem. Attention within itself is it's an economy. It's an economy because of the marketing dollars that are put behind anybody that could capture attention. Right, so it's not just the attention. There's another pillar to that attention, and that's the fact that people are watching, and with those eyes comes brands that are willing to pay marketing dollars in order to get those viewers to pay for something, and obviously yield to profit. So there's a process behind attention, but I started to think, why is attention captured? And there's a couple of there's more, but I'm gonna name a few that come to mind for me. It's like, why is it that a human is gravitating towards a specific person or something? And it's because of emotions. Like, I don't care how, the most masculine person can be like, nigga, you can't be in your emotions, all this and that. That's bullshit. We're all in it. It's just a matter of which emotion are you tapped into and which one resonates with you the most, that you choose to focus on. But it's all an emotion. Whether it's a gangster emotion, whether it's a cool emotion, or whether it's a sad emotion, it's all an emotion that captures our attention. And I started to think, it's like, whether it's you create a video, you create a song that's going to put somebody in a different mental space, but essentially you're pulling their attention, you're grabbing their attention because of an emotion. So I started to think about the content that I create, the documentation that I create, and I started to think like, okay, so sometimes what I say isn't cool, but that's okay, because it not being cool is being lame, it's being corny, it's creating an ecosystem within itself, and it's creating it's triggering an emotion within somebody else, and that is okay. That's why I realized now I get it where people say bad publicity is good publicity. I get where that comes from, and that comes from the fact that it doesn't matter what they're saying about you. It doesn't matter what beliefs are being said. It doesn't matter about jokes that are being written. That's all good. At the end of the day, that's a good thing. It's all good, because the attention is what matters, and attention comes from making sure the more diverse you are, the more people's attention you'll grab. Meaning, like, music is one of the most easiest examples to use, but like, you could have an album all gravitated towards like being a thug, and you're only going to amass that audience. Like, you're only gonna go so far, because there's only a targeted demographic that you're reaching out. And if musicians decided to just tap into a different type of instrumental, and they can't tell me that they're only a thug, that's only what they resonate with. That's bullshit. They're human. They got other stuff inside too. They just don't want to portray that other image. But the amount of market share, if you will, that they'll expand will increase dramatically. And that's just the music example. But when it comes to me documenting, I think about, I have those doubts. I'm like, what the fuck I be talking about sometimes? But then I just get to reality. Like, it really doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, when I listen to words, and sometimes I'm on point, sometimes I'll be off, but I listen to people that have platforms, like have big platforms, and in my perspective, they're off. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you serious? How is it that this person could sit here and have X amount of following? Why? Because of emotion. They've already amassed an audience, and at the end of the day, it's like they've triggered specific emotions in people. They've captured an attention to where everything Like nothing really matters at the end of the day to their audience. They just are what they are. But it's not. What I realize is not so much about content. It's not so much about value. Like when it boils down to it, it's just about the power, the human energy that comes out of a human. You know, and as long as you're communicating, as long as you're sharing, as long as you're doing anything, you're gonna trigger an emotion on somebody. Pretty much. Like you're gonna trigger an emotion on somebody, whether it's getting somebody mad, making somebody happy, making somebody move forward, being positive or negative. Like it's always, there's a market for it all. It's like misery loves company, but also optimism loves optimistic, optimism loves optimism, and ignorance loves ignorance, and you know, intelligence loves intelligence. So it's all there. It's like, I'm not gonna limit myself to one, because I'm not one. I'm like my hair. Straight up, I'm like my hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm like my fucking hair. Straight up. This is a perfect representation of me. You know, I'm everywhere, but I'm still centered. I'm right here. You know, I'm everywhere with the goal. You know, from a hair perspective, my hair it's all attached to my head. You know, and although my thoughts and my beliefs and all my perspectives are everywhere, it's coming from one source. Pretty good analogy, I think. Pretty good analogy. But I gotta keep growing and developing, and the more that I record myself, the more that I document myself, the more that I seen the shooting range, shoot straight, but on some spontaneous shit. Nah, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I gotta buy bullets though. Damn, why would I buy bullets from them? They gonna tax me. I gotta buy some bullets. I'm gonna buy some play bullets. So cheap, bro. Straight up, I am cheap as fuck. I'ma go. Fuck it. It's gonna take probably like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna just go to shoot straight and just enjoy. You know what I mean? Buy a round and just shoot and just shoot. Fuck it. For the sake of doing it. I don't need nobody. I can just do it because I want to. Like a lot of times that, it's crazy. I have this mentality of only doing stuff if it's with somebody. It's like, fuck that. It's more expensive when you go with people. Ooh. Going through this shit. I just thought about something. Oh, and I do want to. This is actually perfect because I gotta buy some gun oil, some Lucas oil. Damn, that would have been cool. I'll just come again and do it again for the second time. I was gonna think about getting my GoPro because I fucking didn't bring it, but it's cool. That would be fun. You know what? I feel like if I go to the crib, I ain't gonna come back, but you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go get my GoPro so I can have that shit attached, and I'm going to document that. I'm gonna document me at the range, you know, my shot and how much I could improve. Yeah, I'm probably gonna drop about like 50, 60 bucks. I'll buy two rounds, two cases, and just go ham. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. Let's move fast as shit. That's what I'm gonna do. That was off the grid, if you will. It wasn't necessarily planned, but so what? So I'm gonna go inside, make sure that my memory's clear on the Go Pizzle, and then come back here and and just enjoy. I should have been more aggressive on that fucking. Damn. Fucked up. You know, part of my problem is not having a goal and a plan throughout the day, but well, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And then when I get back, fuck. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just go get my GoPro, and then from there go to the range. That shit feels good too. It's like fighting. It's like boxing, fighting, exercising. There's a release that comes with shooting a gun. A big release. I wonder if people that kill in the army and stuff, like, they may not admit it and say that, I don't know, that shit probably comes with some type of feeling as well. I don't know, I'm just saying, like, there's probably some cops for example, there's an addiction to that. There has to be. Ain't no way, like, a lot of people that become cops, they stay cops for a long time. Years. So there has to be something that comes, like an addiction or a fulfilling, a satisfying feeling that comes with it. I thought that was the person. This person that had gotten his vehicle impounded, and I picked it up. The kid was crying. It looked like that BMW, but had a black bumper and everything, but the person didn't look the same. That was the first car that I ain't gonna say first car, but I tried to drift the car when I drove it into the lot. Popped the clutch. Ain't do nothing. It was just nothing but dirt that made it seem like I did more. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, life is life. You know, we try to make it so perfect, but I'm gonna make the best out of imperfection, goddammit. And I know because of me, I'm sure other people as well, but I'm gonna take ownership of it. You know, I wrote this, I don't know when, maybe a couple of years, like a year ago, maybe 6 to 8 months ago or a year. I wrote, this shit is simple, why you motherfuckers complicate? Leading by example seems to be the only way, right? So, to me that means, you know, whether it's music, whether it's recording, whether it's vlogging, documenting, bagging bitches, it all, like, nothing matters until you lead by example. And the ultimate goal is to help everybody move forward as a human race, as a human whole. People move forward in their own endeavors, be great in whatever you want to do, but it's going to take you understanding, it's going to take failure. That's number one. Like, I'm fascinated by the amount of people that have good ass songs or good potential, but they don't really document themselves, or they don't record it, because they won't do it until it's perfect, and they're measuring perfection to somebody else's perfection. And to be quite honest, it's not ever going to be that, because there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that, quite honest, is not going to allow you to make it that perfect. There's a lot of technology, there's a lot of engineers, there's a team behind what we see. And sometimes we think that that's all what we see is the person in front of the camera, but we forget about the person behind the camera, the production, the engineer, the production team, the engineers, the people that have gone to school or even have invested years in that space to understand what makes a good song, there's a lot involved. And I keep using songs because that's something that, you know, it resonates and it impacts a lot of people. and it's a great way to connect and really resonate with people. Is music. Everybody listens to music. Even the most athletic person like LeBron James. He was I seen a video today of him, and he got a gift from Jay-Z, and he started singing a song from Jay-Z. Like, music's everything, but it's nothing, and it's everything because it resonates with all of humanity. It resonates with all of humanity. You can be very strategic about it. You can empower humanity or take them down. But everybody should at least have a basic understanding of how music impacts us as a whole, and how we could not allow it to affect us, but let us let it empower us. Let us get a basic understanding of it and let it affect us to greatness. I'm doing it. It ain't funny no more. Use a different joke. Change my approach. That's gonna be fun. I really look forward to this. Really look forward to this. I ain't even put deodorant on because I was just supposed to get coffee. I said, fuck that, I'm coming back to the house. Put some deodorant on. Goddamn it. It ain't funny no more. Use a different joke. Change my approach. Something like that. Think about that Kanye West song. Alright, I'll be back in about. Be back real soon. Funny because I'm thinking about what would be a good date, and bringing a girl to the gun range would be cool. But it's funny how I'm always like, I be limiting myself, like I be preventing myself from doing stuff, and I only give myself the right to go do something if it's involved with somebody else. But honestly, that's not the right approach. It should always be who.